Mic check 1 2. How is everyone doing today? Yay! We're ready for the mayor? Yes, let me say excited. Yay. Okay. But I also want to say thank you to our teachers and staff that work really, really hard. I just want to publicly say that to Mr. Lance, Mr. T, Mr. Matt, Coach Pop, Miss Robbie, Miss Jessie, Mr. Michael Faye, and Miss Allie Faye, they're principal of our school. They work so hard for everyone to get you here. So I want to thank you. And last, but definitely not least, Mr. Franklin. Thank you guys.
All right.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Make sure. Yeah.
Second. Good morning, everyone. Today, we're absolutely thrilled to continue our Life Prep Beyond the Classroom series with a very special guest. This series is all about showing you how to take your dreams, your passions, and your skills and turn them into a real, meaningful career, a life of impact. And today, we have one of the best examples of that right here with us. Our guest has dedicated her life to public service as a social worker and attorney and an attorney, then as the founder of the nonprofit organization Catalyst Miami. Her entire career has been focused on listening to the community and solving problems. Now she holds the highest office in the county, serving as the first woman mayor of Miami-Dade County. Wow, let's start there.
Yes.
That means, you know what that means? That means she's responsible for leading our entire community, from public safety to transportation to keeping our environment strong. It is one of the most demanding jobs in the entire state, and she is a true inspiration in leadership and perseverance. She is here today not just as the mayor, but as a person ready to share her own life prep story. How how she found her passion, how she handled challenges, and the day-to-day nuts and bolts of turning her vision into reality.
All right.
Please join me in our massive EDC Academy of Excellence welcome to the visionary leader of our county, Mayor Danielle Levine Cava.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow. I'll tell you what, I feel right at home. I feel so welcome. What a great greeting I had and tour and stopped in on your classrooms and met your faculty and your administration. And wow, I am super, super impressed and I want to know more. So I am very, very honored that you've invited me to be part of your series on life prep, right? You've heard other speakers. And so I don't know what they all had to say, but I am very humbled to tell you a little bit about my story and hope that you can find something in it that will help you think about your life story. And just to be clear, I did not have a plan exactly what was going to happen in my life. Somebody has plans for us, right? All right. So you can have dreams, but those plans, you have to be agile. You have to be able to change quickly because things change so quickly in our world, in our lives. Things change quickly. So I'm pretty good at change. Okay, so I think I got a PhD in change. So I'm going to say to you, let's all of us think about that. No matter what you do, you want to be ready for change. I want to introduce to you one of my wonderful team members. That's Jessica Saint Jean. Here she is. She's much younger than I am, but she is also on a wonderful journey, a wonderful path, and she's a great, great member of my team who is with me here today. So you're here learning a lot of lessons, but you're also here with dreams. And I think that this school stands for you achieving those dreams. Y'all feel that? They're here for you to make sure that you have the confidence, the skills, the knowledge, the support to achieve dreams. That is so important. My life, I will tell you, has been dedicated to making sure that people, young people, have the love and support they need to achieve their dreams. I'm a very fortunate person. I was raised lacking for nothing, right? I mean, my parents did fight. They eventually had a divorce, so, it wasn't all happiness in the household. But with that, they made sure that I didn't lack for anything and I had love and support and encouragement. And not everybody has that. So we have to find it in different places. And I believe strongly that children have a right, a God given right, to be loved and supported to achieve their dreams. So that's why I'm super excited to be with you because this is part of that. I never dreamed I'd be mayor. That was not my plan. My dream actually was to be an elementary school principal. How about that? Because I thought that elementary school was a place where you could really have a big, big impact on helping young people achieve their potential and their dreams. But I was a very bad teacher. I had very poor discipline in my classroom. So, teachers, they love you, but they also love you with structure. And I was kind of free flowing. So I tried it a little bit. It was not really my gift. So it's hard to be a principal if you don't have teaching experience. So I had to find another path. So I learned to be a social worker to help people. I learned to be a lawyer to help people. And I'm going to tell you why I chose those careers. Since I couldn't be a principal, my dad was very active politically. He wanted to be sure that the right people got into office that would represent us well and take care of people's needs in the community. And my mom was a social worker. And so she was helping people all the time. People would go to her, she would always find a path to help people. So I had those two influences in my life. Actually, my grandmother and grandfather were teachers. My grandfather taught me math. He was really good at that. He played games. I heard you guys do some fun in your classrooms too. He taught me math through games. And by the way, was my favorite subject. Sometimes he asks people like that, be surprised. I love math because it's so logical and things just add up, right? You just know that there's an end and it's clear. So I like that. Um, so I like to say I studied law and social work, and I like to call that the language of love and power. Now, which one is love and which one is power? So social work, you all know about social workers and what social workers do? Okay, and lawyers, you know what lawyers do? Everybody helps. And the lawyers focus on the law and justice, making sure justice is done. And the social workers focus on making sure people feel supported and their needs are met. So which one is power and which one is love? Anybody have an opinion? I actually like to do a vote. How many think social work is mostly about love? Okay, how about how many think social work is mostly about power? Okay, so I guess you think the other way, that law is about power and social work about love. Well, I learned that it doesn't always work that way. A lot of lawyers, like let's say civil rights lawyers, lawyers that fight for your human rights, your civil rights, they do it out of love. And they do it connecting to people that they care about. They care about you having opportunity. They care about people getting their legal rights met. They do it out of love. Okay. And social workers, they're all about helping people feel their power, feel their strength, that they can achieve things, they can move mountains. So it's kind of a combination of both. So that's why I studied both. I wanted law and social work. I also grew up in the outdoors. I'm a outdoors woman. I could drop for a, sometimes I do this just to impress people. I could drop right now and do 10 push-ups. All right.
I can join you, Mayor.
I did that one time and I got an award called the Badass Award. Excuse me. So, but I love being outdoors. I love nature. I love exercise. And I grew up hiking. Like we don't have any mountains around here, but there are still some places you can take beautiful walks in the Everglades, for example. How many of you have been to the Everglades? few of you, that's our special wilderness area, right? Alligators, of course, birds, lots of birds, turtles. Um, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. On my days off, that's where we like to go. We go canoeing in the Everglades. So I spent, and that's now as a grown up. But as a child, I went with my dad hiking, and we lived up in New York area. We also lived overseas in Brazil and Chile. I lived in Canada. We always went outdoors. That's what we did for vacations. That's what we did for fun. One time, we even did a hike to trace where the water was coming from to fill a lake where we would swim. So we went through the woods. We called it bushwhacking. No trail, just try to find the stream. How do the streams come together to form the lake? So that's the kind of thing we did for fun. So I always loved nature. Well, we got to take care of nature. You ever heard the expression, there's no planet B? There's only planet A, the one we got. We don't take care of her, she won't take care of us. So that's why we recycle, right? Hopefully you learn about composting. That's something you can do even at home. You can compost to put some of those nutrients back in a garden. You could do it on your, if you don't have a yard, you could do it on your porch or, balcony, whatever. So I'm all about it. And that's a key reason why I ran for office, to protect our water. I'm called the water warrior because anyone know where our drinking water comes from? Yeah, yeah. It comes from the planet, but more specifically, yeah. Well, that's very salty, right? And you can get water from the ocean, but you have to do something to it called reverse osmosis. Yes. Sorry? It comes from the Everglades, which leads to redlands. So basically, you're saying it comes from the wild part of things. And that's part of what we have to do to protect those areas from overdevelopment. We don't want to just pave over paradise, just pave over those farms and that, because the water is underneath the ground. Our water doesn't come from lakes or rivers, it comes from the Everglades. So it's like an underground river and it flows through the waters of grass, and that is what we drink. So we have to take care of it. We can't be putting garbage or pollution out there, or we will not have safe drinking water. So, so that's all fine and good. But how did I get into politics, right? How is it now that I'm mayor? And before that, I was commissioner. I never planned to go into politics. I did not have that plan. I wanted to be an elementary school principal, remember? So, well, I knew that to make change, you have to be able to influence laws, policies. And when I was in college, I ran to be student council president, and I won. So I was my college council president. And at the time, there was no access, no right for students to know how our money was being spent. Like, okay, we paid tuition. Of course, there were grants and so on too, but we paid tuition. We didn't know how much money was going to our faculty, how much to our where we lived, how much to our food. We didn't know. They wouldn't tell us. So I fought for the right to know what was in the budget. That was my first real effort at trying to change policy. So after that, I went on to work in the community and I worked with people who were victims of domestic violence. You all know about that, right? When people at home hurt each other, that's domestic violence. And I was working at a legal services office, and there were lots of people calling in saying they didn't feel safe. So they told me, fix it. So we created a program where they could get help to protect themselves from people who were abusing them. And that was one of my first real efforts at experiencing change. So then I came to Miami 45 years ago. Because how old do you think I am? Okay. Okay, remember I can still drop and do push-ups, right? So I'm 70. I just turned 70. Yeah. I don't look 70. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, that's because we take care of ourselves, right? We got to take care of ourselves first, and we got to get out there and exercise and eat right and all that good stuff. I'm sure you're learning about that. But in any event, so I've been here for 45 years. And first thing I did, I worked at Legal Services of Greater Miami, and I represented children like you. I was a lawyer to students who were not getting their fair chance in the school system. They were being disciplined when, maybe they hadn't done anything really wrong, or maybe they were being over disciplined, like maybe they were being expelled when they should have been given another chance, or suspended and then they couldn't, keep up with their schoolwork. I also represented students who had special learning needs and they were not getting them in their schools. So I was a lawyer for children. So I wasn't a principal, but next best thing, I was a lawyer for children. And that was really, really wonderful experience. And then came Hurricane Andrew. Oh, you don't know about that. That was a long time ago, but you know about hurricanes. So that was the worst one that happened right here in our lifetime, my lifetime, Hurricane Andrew. And it really let a lot of homes were destroyed. A lot of people moved away. And there were a lot of young people who were in foster care who whose homes were lost. And I took a job to help them get back home and take care of them. That's what I did for the state of Florida. And then I ended up running the Department of Children and Families for this area. And I was responsible for all the legal cases, all the child care cases, um, foster care, adoption, all of that. I was responsible. And after that, I started an organization that was called Human Services Coalition. Just like an innovator started this school, I started that organization. It's now called Catalyst Miami, and it's going strong. It's doing great. But I did it to take everything I had learned from everything else. So my point here is my pathway, all the things I told you, which I'm not telling you everything because I had 70 years of things to tell you. So I'm not telling you all about it. But everything that I learned along the way, I used wherever I was going next, right? When I learned about children, when I learned about victims of domestic violence, when I learned about people who needed housing and were having a hard time finding housing they could afford, and all of that. I also worked with immigrants. I worked with people who had come to this country for a better life and they wanted to stay here and make a life. And I worked with them to help them to be able to make their way in this country. So that was my path. It went from, it wasn't a straight line. It went from one thing to another, a lot of great experiences. I'm very, very fortunate about that. So my message to you is follow your dream. Be open, be flexible to change, be curious, and continue learning. Whatever you do, wherever you are learning something that you will take with you on that journey. So, beyond this classroom, into the future, everything you learn here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it is shaping your dreams for the future. So thank you so very much for inviting me. And I know there are some questions, but I just want to say I appreciate the invitation so much. All right. Okay, so I was told there are some questions. Does somebody want to ask them, or should I just tell you what they are? How do you do? How do you? Oh, okay, someone's selected to ask the questions? Okay, you tell me. Okay, I don't know. Okay,
The ones that have the questions.
in advance, right? You were prepared. You have one? No, who has the question? Okay. Okay, if you had one prepared in advance, that's, I think, the instruction. Okay, here we go. Do you have it written down? Okay, great.
How how would you help people that don't have homes?
How do I help people who don't have homes? All right. Is that a good question? It's a great question. Because right here in Miami-Dade County, we have so many people who are having a hard time finding housing that they can afford. We are the most expensive place to live in the whole country compared to our salaries. Our salaries are not, they're growing, but not growing enough. And the housing costs have shot up, sometimes double. So people are finding it really, really hard to afford to live here. So I declared a crisis. I declared an emergency in 2022. So 3 years ago, I already saw this emergency. And we have doubled the money that the county spends building housing that people can afford. We've also put a lot of money into helping people not face eviction, not be evicted, or to be relocated. We're rebuilding public housing projects that are old and building more units. We need, it's estimated, well, some estimates are 100,000, another estimate 200,000 people that need housing. That's a lot of people. So we have to work around the clock we have an office of housing advocacy. So anyone you know that is struggling, we want to hear, they can call. You can always call our general number, which is 311. Can you all say that with me? 1, 2. Okay. Okay, that's our emergency line in the county. For anything that you need, you can call 311. It's the same like 911 if you're in a crisis like in danger, but 311 is to get help, 311. And they can direct you to some housing services. So thank you for the question. Okay, who should I call next?
You have a question, Alex?
Okay, sorry, it's the ones that wrote them down. I don't know. I don't make the rules here.
Could you walk us through the nuts and bolts of your day? What is the first thing you do? Read or look at every morning? Wait, my bad. What is the first thing you read or look at every morning that tells you what the county needs?
All right, what do I do every day? What do I do? What don't I do? I do a lot. I pack a lot into the day. I'm very energetic. Today, for example, I woke up at 5:45 and I went to the gym. How about that? And I burned a lot of calories and I, got to do that. I try to do it. I only do it about twice a week. That's not quite enough, but I do that. On my way, I'm reading the newspaper, not while I'm driving, but I read the newspaper, see what's happening in the news. This is a very big news day because yesterday evening, Congress voted to end the government shutdown. So that means all the federal workers are going back to work. That means that food stamp SNAP is going to continue for people who had lost it. Yep. Yep. But what it doesn't mean is people who are getting their health care from the Affordable Care Act, they still do not know if they're going to be able to afford it because the prices have shot up and Congress has not voted to continue the subsidies that they need. So that is a very, very big problem. So if people, if you get Medicaid, you're going to continue to get Medicaid. But if you're on one of these other programs that were created under President Obama, so they call it Obamacare also, the prices have doubled or tripled and people are not going to be able to afford it. So unless Congress votes to continue those subsidies that were in place, people are going to be losing their health care, which is a real tragedy. This is not what I do with my day, but that's the first thing that I learned about this morning. Yes, ma'am. Right, so Medicaid continues. I will say this, they're trying to cut Medicaid. They're requiring more people to go to work in order to get Medicaid, which sort of doesn't make sense if you're, infirm or disabled or something. So they, my opinion, what they call the big beautiful bill was not beautiful at all. And really it favored the rich and hurt working people. So I just put that out there. So that is why they were fighting so hard to make sure that at least these healthcare subsidies would continue because it's, I don't know, however many, 30 million, how many people? It's some large number of people that depend upon that. Okay, so what else do I do? So I'm not going to tell you my whole day because it would take me all day to tell you my whole day. But so then I had a bunch of phone calls. I had planning calls with lots of different of the people that report to me, planning for things that are happening in the county, lots of tough decisions. Then I went to receive a check for the fire department. All right, it was a fake check, a big one, but it actually was about $900,000 that they're giving to our fire department to, yes, it's very important. One is for a big, what's called a tanker truck that has 1,000-gallon water capacity because there's a lot of places in the county that don't have fire hydrants. So if there's a fire, they need to bring the water on a truck. And this is a new kind of a truck that has even more water. So that is very important so we can get to the fires quicker and put them out. And so that's one thing. So then what did I do? I came here. So I came here. And by the way, when I'm coming here, I have someone driving me. I have a police officer who's my sergeant at arms. And actually, she's the first woman sergeant at arms. Her name is Rebecca Behart. She's out there in the parking lot. And she's very tiny, but don't mess with her. Okay? I'm just telling you. Sorry? Okay, Jessica, you get Becky to come in here. Okay? Okay. Okay. So my only point is on my way, all these places, I'm on conference calls. So there's never a down moment for me. I'm always planning, calling. And then in the evening, I often have 2 or 3 things to do as well. So it goes all day like that. I don't get much of a break, but I do have a wonderful husband who's very supportive. My children are grown. And one of my children, my son, lives here. He, by the way, was a teacher. So this is why I'm thinking, because he also prepped people for college and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to, lure him over here. But his daughter, my grandbaby, is almost 2. And so every chance I get, I am with that grandbaby. And if you look at my social media, you will see she goes with me a lot of places. So that's just a little snippet of what I do in a day. Okay, what's the next question? You tell me. This is you? Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. How are we doing?
The county budget is billions of dollars. If you had to name the single most challenging budget area like affordable housing, public transportation, and infrastructure, which one would you choose and what is your plan to fix it?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Could I borrow this? Because there's a lot of things in here. Okay. So, all right. Our budget in Miami-Dade County is about $13 billion. And just to say that's bigger than many states in the United States of America and bigger than some countries. That's a lot of money. Well, we have almost 3 million people. And we run the airport and the seaport, fire, police, libraries, animal services, roads, transit. What else? So many things. Emergency management, water and sewer, waste, pick up the garbage, your, what? I can't hear.
Cycle life.
Psycho, like, you mean like mental health? Yes, I was going to say social services. We run social services. Yes, we do. We don't run the healthcare system. That's a state function, although we do support it. And we do other things together with others, but that's a lot of things that's why it costs so much money. So we have a lot of pressure. The state is cutting some state funds. They're talking about eliminating or cutting back on property taxes. That's the main source of our income for a lot of the things I just mentioned. That would mean that teachers are paid for with property tax, your police and fire are paid for with property tax and so on. So we're facing some real challenges at the state this year. So when, everybody would like to pay less in property tax, but if you really cut it back, we're going to have to cut back parks, transit, all kinds of things. So what is my priority? Oh my goodness. All of it. I told you we doubled the money for housing because housing is a human right. People need to be able to live. It was the first question here today. Obviously, we care about that. Transit, people have to get to work, to school, etc. And we have increased the number of people riding transit. How many of you have ride buses or trains here? Okay, all right. Well, we're trying to make it even better and more people are riding it. And infrastructure. Okay, what's infrastructure? Roads, bridges, buildings, right? If we don't take care of those things, guess what? Just like at your house, they will collapse. Thank you. So we put in, you'll never be able to guess how much money we put in to fix the airport. More. 9 billion. Did you know that? That's it. So those are some of the things that are our priorities. Thank you so much. All right, so I know we have one more question, but let me introduce to you, well, hold on, I'm taking my guidance from your administrators here. But first, you asked to meet Rebecca Behar. I told them that you were small, but don't mess with you. Thank you for keeping me safe. Yes, yes. So, yeah, so I ride with her, and I have two other sergeants at arms that help, so, they take turns. But that's also why when I'm in the car, I can be doing my work. I'm not a distracted driver texting while driving. She's driving and I'm texting. It's a good distribution. Okay, this will be our last question. Okay, very good.
How you feel about the Black History program being shut off?
How do I feel about the Black History program? What?
Yeah,
Shut? Is that what you're saying? Okay. So Black history is our history. And I am passionate about sharing our story, our history. I think burying history is not only a denial of people's experience, but it's not good for any of us. We need to understand and learn from history. So we have certain rules that were changed, things that were cut back at the state level. I know in the school system, some changes were made, but we celebrate Black History Month. We celebrate Black Business Month. We have a director of equity who focuses on making sure there's opportunity across our community. And we're going to continue to do everything we possibly can to make sure that we learn. And I was just talking to some of your folks here who were close to the McDuffie riots. Are you familiar with the McDuffie? That's what they call it, the McDuffie riots. So there was a decision that was made to, uh, let's see, there was a man, he was escaping from the police. His name was Arthur McDuffie. Why was he escaping from the police? He was riding a motorcycle. They charged him with a traffic violation, and then a police chase ensued, and it ended up with him being killed. And that led to some really big trouble in this neighborhood, and buildings were burned down and so on. And it was something that really, it's actually right about the time that I moved to Miami, right after those events. And there really wasn't anything to mark the history. So one of the things I did as mayor was I had to petition the state to create a historic marker. And it is now down in the spot where actually he died. So just as an example, I put into practice my belief that we need to share our history, celebrate the good times, learn from the bad times. So thank you for the question. All right. Now, if I could, do we have any questions for our sergeant? Our first woman sergeant in arms in Miami-Dade County. Yes, yes. Can we do that? Can we get one question? Okay, just one. Okay, yeah, this gentleman didn't get a question, so we'll give him two. One and one. Yeah, okay.
What are the struggles of being the first female sergeant?
Very good question. Here.
I have not had any. I've been an officer for 32 years in this county, and I have not experienced any issues. What do you go through? Sorry, what do you go through as being like a male dominant? So it's been my experience that if you are good at what you do, and you are in the respect of your peers, and it doesn't really matter if you're male or female.
Or black or white.
Right. I'm particularly small, so I have to work harder. But that just made me better. So I have never been hung up on whether or not my field was dominated by anyone, because it's dominated by people who are good at it. So if you're good at something, then you can be that, and you can dominate that. And don't worry about anything else.
Whoa, great message. Okay, great. Also, her specialty for a long time was arson, fires, figuring out what caused fires. Think about that. That's a real detective work, right? Fires. Okay, you get the last question. Right? Yeah, Chuck, you can chuck right there into that.
Um, how can danger be something like harmful, something danger that
What are you worried about?
that's something like how can you prevent danger? Prevent danger that can danger come to you, but it can come to the bad people
Oh,
that can don't help you, but when danger comes to the bad people, then you help them.
okay. All right, very good. So, you know, we are so fortunate. We are living in a place that is safer than many places. And we have fantastic law enforcement to protect us. But there are people out there, obviously, who are out to make trouble. And so we really depend on you because you know people that are creating a risk or danger. And it is really, really important that the community trust our law enforcement officers, and we do a lot to bring them into the community so that you feel comfortable to let them know somebody shouldn't have a gun, has a gun, somebody is doing drugs on the street and luring children into it, whatever it may be. We count on you for tips. So we are grateful that our law enforcement has been able to build a lot of trust. And that is how we solve crimes and prevent crimes. All right. All right. Thank you.
All right,
my
boys and
goodness.
girls, let's give our mayor a wonderful thunderous. Come on, you can do this. Come on.
Oh my goodness. Wow,
Mayor Cava. On behalf of the staff, the students here at EDC Academy, we know that you could have been anywhere in this county, but you chose to come to our little grade school on the corner. And we really do appreciate that. You know, it's like I've been telling these kids all week, it's like having the president come and visit your school, not that president, but the president of the United States. So from the EDC staff, we would like to present you with this certificate of appreciation.
that's so
For
lovely.
choosing to come visit with us today.
That's great.
And on behalf of Mr. Michael Fang and Miss Allie Fang back there, and our wonderful staff, who has all worked together this week to make sure your visit ran easy and smoothly.
It did.
And we hope that this is not the last
Okay.
time that we see you. And once again, boys and girls, let's give her a round of applause. We really do thank you for coming.
Yeah, we're gonna.
One moment. She has to go first. This is the mayor, you know. Yeah, Allie's coming to take a picture with us. We wait for Allie.
Are we gonna take a group picture too?
Yes, the staff.
Staff first.
Kids too?
Yeah, if I could,
All
yeah.
right, kids, want to take a picture with you guys?
That would be great.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out.
So we need to have the short ones in front, right?
I'll organize this.
Okay.
The little ones in the front.
Everybody, come on.
Yeah, let me put this down. Should I hold this in the picture? Yeah, I'll hold this in the picture. Okay.
Y'all gotta get around her. Y'all gotta get around her.
Okay.
Get around her.
Little ones in
Little
front.
ones in the front. Little ones
Yeah.
in the front. Get down, Fred.
Oh, wait. Can you get through? Okay, wait. If you're shorter, come on up front. We got it. You're tall, so we got to get the shorter ones. Uh-oh. Careful. Okay.
Beautiful. Nice picture. On the count of three, we'll say cover. One, two, three. Nice picture. Nice picture. Come again. Very nice picture. I love it. Love it. Beautiful. Who was that guy?
Demarius.
Okay. That's it?
You want to do one just staff? Yeah.
Oh, the staff, let's go. Keep them on the side?
Sure.
That's it.
I need to know something away.
Mara, could you do us one more thing before you have to go? Can you write on our wall and tell us what you think before they see us?
Oh, of course. Yes,
Hey, where's
yes.
the marker? Give them a marker. And let's see what's right on the wall.
Okay. We're taking a staff photo, right?
What's that? What is Jessica? What is Jessica?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He is a little short.
She said she'll take the picture.
Yeah, she'll take the picture. Jessica will take it.
Make sure you get everybody. Put it on the side. Don't put it standing up. Put it sideways, Alana.
Put it sideways, Lana.
Alana, sideways.
Get it right.
Jessica, why you not over here?
Alana, get my picture.
Wait,
Watch the other phone.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you. That was amazing.
Mayor, you know what I really wanted to ask, but I didn't get a
Oh,
chance
oh.
about the Scared Straight program. Is it ever a chance for it to come back? Because
Oh.
when I was in elementary,
Oh,
that
yeah.
would kill me.
Really. Well, I'm not the sheriff anymore. So that would be maybe something that you would call Sheriff Rosie and ask about it. Or you can ask any of your officers around. Yeah, I would say it's in the sheriff's department now. Yeah, different office. Okay. All right, I need to write something on the wall.
Yeah, right on any one of those spaces. Here you go.
Okay, and now what is it you want? What am I thankful for? Okay.
Where's the right?
Do I need
You want you to write on the empty space.
just on the space?
Oh, right here?
Better be fine.
Okay.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, Matt.
I was looking for the thing on the right on. Keep right on the wall.
Okay. Okay. All righty. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow. It's so nice. All of it is so great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Oh, you thank you. Thank you.
Wow,
again.
and lunch too. All of that. Where do the kids eat?
Oh, that right there turns into our lunch room.
Okay. All right. Great.
So, every day, and then breakfast, and we kind of clean it up after we do. Thank you so
What a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, you too.
I got lunch. Okay. All right. So, and flowers.
I'm gonna put them in the back. For you.
Okay.
Thank you, Becky. Bye.
Ooh.
Bye.
Oh, I have to go to this. Yes, thank you. It's a very nice answer. Pre-recordings. Okay, back we go. Okay. Let's see. It's a Peruvian lunch.